My wife decided that her Bahamas trip with her friends was more important than my dad's funeral. So I took the kids and moved out of the house. Now she's blowing up my phone trying to get in touch with me. Plus 4 updates. I'm a 39-year-old mechanic, and the last 3 months have been a nightmare. My wife, Lauren, 37, and I have been married for 12 years, with 2 kids, Emma, 10th, and Noah, 7 Emma. We've had our share of arguments, but I thought we were a team. My dad was my hero, a retired firefighter who coached Emma's softball games and taught Noah to fish. When he died of a heart attack in June, it shattered me. The funeral was set for a Saturday, and I was barely holding it together, planning it while comforting the kids. Lauren seemed supportive at first, helping with calls and hugging Emma through her tears. But then 2 days before the funeral, she hit me with something I never saw coming. Lauren had been planning a week-long Bahamas trip with her college friends for months. Sun, beaches, cocktails, the whole deal. I knew about it and figured she'd cancel when Dad died. Instead, she sat me down and said she was still going. She called it non-refundable, and said she needed this to de-stress. I was stunned. I begged her to stay, saying I needed her. The kids needed her, but she insisted she'd be back in a week and we'd manage. I told her if she left it might break us. We fought, loud enough that Emma overheard and started crying. Lauren packed her bags and left anyway, promising to call from the Bahamas. She didn't. The funeral was one of the hardest days of my life. I stood at the podium, choking through a eulogy with Emma and Noah clinging to me. My mom and sister Jen, 42F, were there, but Lauren's absence was like a gaping wound. Emma kept asking why mommy wasn't there. I mumbled something about her trip, feeling like a liar. Noah barely spoke, just held his stuffed shark. That night, lying awake, I realized I couldn't stay with someone who'd ditch us like that. Then, a few days later, a mutual friend, Mike, called with worse news. Lauren had hooked up with a guy she met at a bar in Nassau. Her friend called it a drunken fling, like that softened the blow. I felt sick, betrayed on top of abandoned. I made a decision. I packed up the kids' essentials, took them to Jen's house and moved out. I didn't tell Lauren. I blocked her number to get some space. Jen's been incredible, letting us crash in her guest rooms and helping with school runs while I work long hours at the shop. Emma's angry, snapping at little things. Noah's quiet, drawing sharks in his sketchbook. I'm looking for an apartment to give us a fresh start. Gotta killer. Lauren's back now and my phone's blowing up. Texts, voicemails, emails, all begging to talk. She's sorry, she messed up. She misses the kids. I unblocked her to see what she'd say, but I haven't responded. She doesn't know I know about the cheating. So, shut. Emma overheard me tell Jen, and now won't even say Lauren's name. Noah keeps asking when we're going home. I'm furious, hurt, and stuck. Part of me wants to hear her out for the kids, but I can't imagine trusting her again after she chose a vacation and another guy over us. Update 1. A week after we moved out, Lauren showed up at Jen's, sobbing and begging to see the kids. I was at the shop, so Jen called me in a panic. I told her to keep Lauren outside and wait for me. When I got there, Lauren looked like she hadn't slept in days. Puffy eyes, tangled hair. She said she'd been selfish, that the trip was a mistake, and she wanted to fix our family. I asked why she thought a girl's trip was more important than my dad's funeral. She said she felt suffocated by our life and thought a week away would recharge her. She admitted she should have stayed but didn't mention the cheating. I didn't bring it up either. I was too raw, and I didn't want to lose control in front of Jen's neighbors. I told her the kids weren't ready to see her, and neither was I. She begged for just a minute with them, but I held firm, saying we needed time. Before leaving, she slipped a letter under the door for Emma and Noah. I read it later. It was full of apologies, promises to be a better mom, and I love you over and over. I haven't shown it to the kids yet. Emma's anger is intense. She's 10, but she's carrying a grown-up kind of hurt, snapping at me when I even mention Lauren. Noah's quieter, asking if mommy still loves us, which breaks my heart. I've contacted a child therapist recommended by a coworker, hoping it'll help them process this. Jen thinks I'm right to keep Lauren at a distance for now. My mom disagrees, saying the kids need their mom, and I should hear Lauren out. I'm torn. I want to protect Emma and Noah, but I'm starting to wonder if shutting Lauren out completely is fair to them. I'm also dreading the moment I confront her about the cheating. Part of me wants to know the truth, but another part doesn't think I can handle it. Update 2. 3 weeks later, I met Lauren at a coffee shop to confront her about the cheating. Jen watched the kids, and I picked a public place to keep things civil. I laid it out, what Mike told me about her fling in the Bahamas. Her face went pale, and she didn't deny it. She admitted to a one-night mistake with a guy she met at a club, blaming too much rum and feeling lost in her own head. She said it happened on the 3rd night of the trip, after a fight with her friends, and she was spiraling. She swore it meant nothing, that she's disgusted with herself. And it was a one-time thing. I asked how she could do that while I was burying my dad, while our kids were crying for her. She broke down, sobbing so hard the barista glanced over. She said she was in a dark place, hating herself for leaving us, and the alcohol made her reckless. I told her I couldn't trust her anymore, not just because of the cheating, but because she chose a vacation over us in our darkest moment. She begged to see the kids, offering to do anything, therapy, counseling, whatever I wanted. I said any contact would be on my terms with the therapist's guidance, and only if it was best for Emma and Noah. I left feeling drained, like no answer would fix this. Back home, I started therapy for the kids. Emma's opening up about her anger, but it's slow. She told the therapist she feels like Lauren picked strangers over us. Noah, struggling with the change, drawing more sharks but talking less. I found a 2-bedroom apartment, and we're moving in next week to give Jen her space back. I told Lauren she can't visit until we're settled, and the therapist says it's okay. Her texts keep coming. Long apologies, promises to change, but I'm not ready to respond. I'm trying to keep things stable for the kids, but I'm barely holding it together myself, replaying her betrayal in my head every night. Update 3. 2 months in, we tried a supervised visit for Noah at a local park. He's been asking about Lauren more, so the therapist thought it might help. I was there along with Jen and Noah's therapist to keep things controlled. Lauren brought a toy fishing rod, remembering how Noah loved fishing with my dad. She was nervous but gentle, showing him how to cast and asking about his shark drawings. Noah was shy at first, clinging to my leg, but he warmed up enough to smile when she made a silly fish sound. It was bittersweet. Part of me hated seeing her act like a mom after everything, but Noah seemed lighter after, even showing Jen one of his drawings. Emma refused to come, and I didn't push her. Her therapist says she's still processing a deep sense of abandonment. Lauren's been consistent, starting therapy herself and sending me updates about her sessions, trying to prove she's serious. But then she slipped up, texting Emma directly to apologize, saying she missed her and wanted to talk. Emma was furious, showing me the message and saying it felt like Lauren was faking nice to guilt her. I called Lauren and told her to only communicate through me or the therapist, no exceptions. She apologized, saying she was desperate to connect, but I'm losing patience with her boundary crossing. We've had one more visit with Noah since, and he's a bit more comfortable, even laughing when Lauren tripped over a stick. But he still asks why we're not home, and I don't know how to explain it without hurting him more. I've met with a lawyer to discuss separation and custody, wanting to protect the kids legally. Lauren agreed to supervised visits for now, but she's pushing for more, like a weekly schedule. Jen's fully on my side, saying Lauren's actions, cheating and ditching the funeral, show who she really is. My mom's softer, arguing that Lauren's trying and the kids might need her long-term. I'm struggling to balance my anger with what's best for Emma and Noah. The cheating feels like a knife in my back, and the funeral choice is a wound that won't close. I'm starting to wonder if I'm being too hard on Lauren, but then I remember Emma's tears and Noah's silence, and I just want to protect them. Update 4. It's been 3 months, and we're settling into a fragile routine. We moved into the new apartment, a cozy 2-bedroom with a small balcony where Noah likes to draw. It's starting to feel like home, though Emma still calls Jen's place the good house. Therapy's helping, but it's slow. Emma finally agreed to one meeting with Lauren at the therapist's office, but it was rough. She sat with her arms crossed, barely speaking, and walked out when Lauren started crying about missing her baby girl. The therapist says Emma's trust is shattered, and it could take years to rebuild if it ever does. She feels like Lauren threw us away for a party, and I can't argue with that. Noah's had 3 more supervised visits, and he's warming up. He held Lauren's hand during the last one, talking about a shark he saw in a book. But he's still confused, asking if mommy will live with us again. I tell him we're figuring things out, but it feels like lying. Lauren's sticking to therapy, sending me detailed emails about what she's working on, her selfishness, her impulsivity, her guilt. She gave me more details about the cheating. The guy was a tourist from Canada, they met at a beach bar, and it was a one-night thing after too many drinks. She says she told her friends the next day, horrified, and cut the trip short to come home. I don't know if I believe it was just one night, and honestly, it doesn't change much. The fact she did it while I was grieving is enough. I've started therapy for myself, trying to untangle the mess of anger, betrayal, and grief. The lawyer's drafting a separation agreement, giving me full custody for now, with supervised visits for Lauren. She's agreed but keeps pushing for couples counseling, saying she'll do anything to rebuild trust. I'm not ready. Every time I think about her in the Bahamas, laughing with some stranger while I was burying my dad, I feel sick. Jen's still my biggest supporter, saying Lauren doesn't deserve a second chance after what she did. My mom's pushing for reconciliation, saying Lauren's showing effort, and the kids might regret not knowing her later. Emma's anger hasn't budged. She told her therapist she'd rather have no mom than one who picks strangers over us. Noah's progress gives me hope, but I'm terrified of him getting attached only for Lauren to hurt him again. I'm trying to protect the life we're building while figuring out if Lauren deserves any place in it. Aita for keeping her at arm's length. Should I let her in more, for the kids' sake, or hold the line?